We are live. If you are looking at it and it says you can't chat, if it says chat is disabled, try refreshing your page because I did change the setting just now. And if it's not working, just refresh and hopefully it should work. And when I see a chat comment come in, I will know it worked. If it's still saying it's disabled, Martine, message me on Discord, please. Oh, there's Martine. Okay, hi. Thank you. Hello. We are here. It worked. The live stream was set to made for kids, and that disabled the chat. And I did not set that, so I don't know what happened there. But I set it to not made for kids, and now you can chat because we are not here. We're here to talk about books for children. But we're not children. Correct. We're not for children. YouTube being silly. That's true.
Retweet.
Anyway, yeah, we're here. My name is Lizzie. This is
Danielle.
And we are the hosts of the Throwback Book Club. If you're watching this and you don't know what we're talking about or what this is for, the Throwback Book Club is a book club where we read our favorites, old favorites, or like just old YA from the 2010s, from when we were teenagers. And this month we are talking about Sarah DESSEN. If you would like to join the Discord and you are not in the Discord yet, the link should be down below. And we'll talk about what we're doing next at the end of the live stream. But for right now, we're here to talk about Sarah DESSEN. We are proud humans in our mid-20s talking about Sarah DESSEN.
Literally.
And yeah, that's anything to add. That's why we're here.
I continue to think that Sarah DESSEN books make the best summer selections.
Yeah.
There is something fun about them every time for me.
Yes, they were super fun for the summer. Sorry, I muted while I sneezed. I tried to mute while I sneezed because I sneezed really loud. So last summer, in May and June, we read 3 Sarah DESSENs, and they were honestly like pretty big hits, I feel like.
They were so fun.
Yeah. And so we decided to do some Sarah DESSENs again this summer. We just picked 2. We picked The Truth About Forever and Once and For All.
What's so funny is I have it at the library right now, but not on me. But I think it's so funny that we were like, we know that everything's a little late. We had a busy summer, so we were like, we're going to do 2 books. It'll be easy. It'll be chill. Somehow that was still stressful.
Yeah, and we still are here in August talking about our May and June pick. But it
all worked out. We're excited.
We're here now.
Yes, we'll share our plans excited at the end again. But I was so excited to read this one in particular because I had owned this one and I knew there was a wedding capacity and I was just like, good vibes, good energy.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw your rating. So we'll come to that.
But we picked The Truth About Forever because it was recommended by Martine, because it's one of Martine's old favorites. And we picked this one Once and For All because of the wedding aspect, right?
Yes, and I just kind of owned it and wanted to read it.
But I got married this summer, and so it was like fun to read about the whole wedding planning thing while planning the wedding. I read it like leading up to the wedding, and then I finished it on the honeymoon. So it was like really my wedding book.
One thing I could not believe, though, particularly was this book and The Truth About Forever this book had so many references to The Truth About Forever. And it was like literally, I think, set like in the same exact area of the town. Mm-hmm. And the like audiobook for this one brought you back to like at the end was like, listen to The Truth About Forever excerpt. And then The Truth About Forever had a Once and For All excerpt. And I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I just didn't know the pairing was so connected.
Yeah, it that was coincidental, but it worked out really well. So which one do we want to talk about first?
I think once The Truth About Forever, so that we can bring up some of the references. Yeah.
Okay. Which one? You read them at the same time, right? Like switching back and forth. I read The Truth About Forever first. I just looked it up. I finished The Truth About Forever on July 8th, and I finished Once and For All on July 31st. So
okay.
I read The Truth About Forever significantly earlier.
Was it your first read of The Truth About Forever?
Yeah, I hadn't read either of them before. And what did you give The Truth About Forever ratings wise?
My original rating back in the day was a 5.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe considered doing, like, I maybe enjoyed it a little bit less this time around, but I also don't know if that's because my other stupid challenge I'm doing.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a single thing objectively that made me, like, want to change my rating. So at most, I would say maybe, like, a 4.5, but I would still just keep it a happy 5.
Yeah. I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I read it a long time ago, and Martina's like finished on June 12th, and it was the second one. So like, you're the one who read this on time. Congratulations. But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. Since you read it more recently, do you want to synopsize it for us?
Oh gosh, let me try and not mix it up with my book. So, like the second one, I mean. So, we're following our main character. Is it Macy in that one? Yeah, that one's Macy. And she has quit running after a traumatic event in which she witnessed her father's death. And her mother have not handled the grief of their feelings. Mm-hmm. And so her mother has kind of delved into the world of her working, and Macy has kind of avoided dealing with her problems with the boy that she has kind of felt like had all the answers. Mm-hmm. And when he unexpectedly breaks up with her because she told him she loved him.
Ridiculous.
It kind of opens up her world as she starts hanging out with a catering crew that she met, an eclectic group of people that were working one of her mother's events. And they kind of open her up to what it means to feel your feelings.
Yeah, that's a good synopsis.
Thank you. I was winging it.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, I really enjoyed the characters in this one. I think that was the strongest part of it, was like, I liked Macy, I liked the catering crew, and I even the characters we're not supposed to like, that I didn't like, were really strongly characterized, I felt like the girls at the library, because she has this job at the library that she hates, and the library girls were like, I mean, they weren't like super multi-dimensional characters, but they were like very strongly like there. They had their personalities, you know, they weren't boring.
I could picture them, and I could think of exact people in my life like them. So, yeah. Understood.
Yeah. I agree. I think this character, with Martine's comment that's coming up, I think this characterization was really strong. Yeah, that was the main thing I liked about it. I feel like the plot was less it for me. Like I wasn't there for the plot. I was there for like these character relationships. But that doesn't mean the plot was like bad or like anything negative. It just was like, I feel like the characters were the strongest part of this one.
I feel like this one is almost harder for me to discuss because I just would be gushing and jumping everywhere to gush about things I loved. But I do agree. I think the characters, I really, really liked Martine's point about the romantic interest in particular, Wes. Mm-hmm. I do think Sarah Dessen, and we will definitely get to that, but she has a tendency to make romantic interests that can just like I don't know, they just have something wacky, something quirky about them, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Wes just being like, what she needed, which is normalcy, but also dealing with his own, like, just could meet her with his grief. I think
Mm-hmm.
really well done, where he was just like, he had so much of his own experience of how people reacted to it that he was able to give her like what she needed with that.
Yeah, for sure. Because, yeah, I was like, at first, I was a little confused about their ages because when they were first introduced, I was picturing Wes quite a bit older than Macy. But I think I was wrong in that. And like, I got, like factually wrong. And I think I got over it. But he definitely like felt like a very mature character. In a way that was kind of refreshing, honestly. Like, I feel like often teenage boys in these books we're reading are like so teenage boy. And I do think, and Macy had graduated high school too, I think. So
I think she was going into her senior year
okay,
because she was
maybe.
preparing for the SATs.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I'm
But
thinking he probably like he had just gotten out of the reform school, so maybe he like graduated early with that or something.
Mhm.
But I think he was like maybe like I don't know if he was going back to school because he got like college offers, so he was maybe a senior and she was a junior.
Yeah. Martine says Wes feels like the most soft-spoken, grounded of all the love interests in the Sarah Dessen universe. I would agree with that of the ones that I've read. And his energy feels older. He's just has a very calm energy. I think especially like in contrast in contrast to the rest of the catering crew, which is not like a bad thing, but they're all very like kind of high energy and very like a little bit chaotic, and he seems very like centered.
I couldn't believe how much I loved Christy.
Yeah.
Like her as a friend for Macy was genuinely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I loved it. Hello?
Hi, August. Yeah,
I think
I like her.
was it this book? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I also liked Monica, who even like she was such a quirky character, but I was like, I can't wait for her to drop some wisdom, and she did. And that was really satisfying for me.
Was this the book though that Christy was it? Now I'm getting them confused a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Was Christy the friend that was upset though because Macy kept saying nothing was going on with Wes? That did make me mad.
I don't
I
remember.
think Christy was like, "You're not telling me the truth." Anyway, that's a side point. That was my one fault of Christy's personality is pressuring her, but also Macy needed a little bit of pushing for just feeling things again. The truth game.
Yeah.
So iconic.
Yeah. It also it feels so like that kind of deep conversation type of game feels so like teenagery, like that time in your life where you're like, let's talk about deep stuff, in like a really
We're
sweet
walking to get gas. Let's talk.
yeah. I love this. Okay, first comment from Martine. Bert is Wes's foil, which is so true, because Bert has such chaotic energy. Game of Truth became absolutely formative to how I got to know people. I do love how it's like jump right in. Like, I think in the conversation about like small talk and like going straight to not like straight to trauma dumping, but straight to like having conversations about real things. I think that's super important.
But also it was fun. I liked when they asked about the little things too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean is like I was listening to it. I don't know if I was on a podcast or something. I was listening to a conversation about like the idea of people who say they hate small talk, and how like there can be like there's like small talk on this end of like asking about the weather, and like trauma dumping on this end of like telling your most horrible thing that's ever happened to you, and like a good conversation. The majority of good conversations happen in the middle of there, which I feel like the Truth Game really got to that middle ground.
Good points. Good points. The catering company as a plot device, I think, is really fun. I just think it really gave that element of some of her books. The girls will be out doing things crazy late at night, and I'm like, how are you allowed to be doing this? But the catering thing gave that sense of that late night effect, but in a way that felt a little more realistic to me.
Yeah, that's true. Because they had like a reason to be going out, and it's not like Macy's sneaking out or whatever.
Not that it particularly, like, it doesn't super bother me in the other books, but for this one, it was just nice for her to have, like, I think she needed a reason.
Yeah,
so
I think especially like in her character as being like a good girl, like it would have been weird if she had snuck out or had a different situation.
Which we should probably then talk about her relationship with her mom.
Yeah. You have some, you say first.
God, I hated it so much. Like, it was well done. I see what her mom was going through, but it was so frustrating toward the end. Even, like, I didn't feel like I got the payoff because she didn't yell at her mom. Someone needed to yell at this woman. And I think that kind of, though, we got that effect in a healthier, better way. When, I like when Christy just walks in on her mom having her mental breakdown, and Christy is just like, what the hell is happening here? Like,
yeah.
it felt like her whole character this whole time was to call out kind of the bullshit. And it was awesome for her to do that to Macy's mom.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the lack of emotional vulnerability within that family, like that relationship was something I like. It felt realistic to me in certain ways of like, I can see the types of people who would fall into this situation and this dynamic. And so I felt like it was well written. And I do also, I think I liked that in this book, her mom had so much growth to do too. And I think that's something that I do like about Sarah Dessen books, and at least some of them. Like, I'm thinking about the one with the bikes and the beach town. That one, that's the one where like, yeah, her like her dad and her mom both have like such journeys in that book. And it like really, I like that Sarah Dessen really like writes the parents as full characters.
You're right, because just so many just don't. That was it's such a joke about young adult that the parents just have to have something tragic. And she does do a good job to me of not having everything just be fixed.
Yeah. Like it's an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
Okay. I also will say I related to Macy growing up, like trying to be perfect and studious, and also having this silly group. I fell in love with that group of people and their chaotic dynamic, just like Macy did. And I feel like I had a similar experience a little bit as well.
I think it was so interesting too because Macy wasn't like that before, so much of her behavior you could like her sister being like, can't you see she's going back to like how she was before? Like that is good because she's like, I used to not care and now everything in my outfit has to be perfect or else you know it'll set me off and bother me. And I just thought that was a good way to describe it, where she just was like, I can't understand it, and that's why she fell for Jason, was because in the moment he had the answers. But then I liked that whole lesson of just learning that there aren't answers to everything.
Yeah. In my mind, classic Sarah Dessen family dynamics is like one dead parent or parent that is not there and the other you have problems with. I think that is true. I mean, it's true in the other Once and For All as well. I also relate to the idea that the person you are now, past you might not have been ready for you and might not have liked you. Yeah. I'm like a little bit confused by the wording. Like, I feel like there might be a typo in here. I also relate to the idea that the person you are now, past you. Oh, I think I'm there.
Let me try again.
I mean, yeah, like people can come into your life at a certain time, in that like maybe 2 years or a year prior to this book taking place, Macy would not have been ready for the catering crew to come into her life and make her feel her feelings. Like maybe she wasn't ready for that at that point, which I feel like is maybe what Martine's trying to get at.
I loved how, we'll read this first.
Okay. Macy and I were really uptight. We became new people, but younger us might not like us now, even though we've changed for the better. She might have reacted more like the library girls. Yeah, I feel that like she wasn't ready for the person she became until she became it.
I was going to say something.
Yeah.
I started to.
You started to.
Oh, I really appreciated that she had her sister to observe. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate. Like, I kind of wish her sister had been in the story way more than she was, but I can kind of see why she wasn't. But I think her being able to see how her sister was the first one ready to deal with her grief.
Yeah.
And the other two, sure, they might still not have been ready to, but like they were actively avoiding it.
Yeah.
And I think it was so good that she saw her sister like really healthy bring that closure with her mother and like slowly bring things up, but also stand up for what she needs to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the story element of like fixing up the summer house, like that the sister was fixing up the summer house, I thought that was nice. And like where it came to a head of like the mom said she was gonna take this time off and then she like didn't, or like wasn't going to. I think that was like a good, a well done plot device in terms of like having the urgency, like a deadline for them having to confront this.
Yeah, that's a good point. I also, as soon as her mom was like, as long as it's after August 7th, and her sister was like, okay, I'm putting it down for August 8th, and her mom was like, yeah, that's fine. I was just like, oh no.
There's no way.
Like, this is not going to go down well in a couple chapters.
Mm-hmm.
But it actually went down way less cliche than I expected. Like, as much as her books are such a blueprint for so much cliche, she still surprises me.
Yeah.
In how things go down sometimes.
That's true.
Sometimes she does not. But sometimes she gets me.
Yeah. Martine, I did love the epilogue when Wes and Macy were running on the beach at the house. Yeah, I would read another short story or novella about them making new memories in that house. That would be sweet, especially if we saw the characters from Along for the Ride more, because it was the same town. Yeah.
One thing that I don't know if it worked for me, and it might be an unpopular opinion, her dad's gift to her being the heart statue, or the holding heart statue, was a little bit for me. Just like a little bit much for me. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
First of all, why didn't he have it if it was already wrapped up and at the beach house?
Yeah.
I just thought it was a little bit like, we could have wrapped up her story of this gift without it having to connect to the boy.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little out there, like, in terms of coincidence, and it's also like, I don't think it was necessary in terms of coincidence.
The only thing I could think, like, I do see the value of, like, maybe if there had been, I don't know. Yeah, it just didn't work for me. That being the gift, it didn't work for me. I would have rather, like, a locket, like everybody else does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shall we talk about the other one, or do you have anything more to say about Truth About Forever?
Let's see if Martine has anything else to say about it, too. I feel like really got to get the full screams out from Martine. I just overall really liked it. I think I have more to talk about with this one because more of it bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why, like, sometimes it's hard to talk about a book that you just liked a lot. And that's how it feels.
That's so true.
I am happy I reread this one. Just when I do pick up her books, I'm happy that I'm reading them, and I'm happy that they exist and teens are still picking them up.
Mm-hmm. Martine says, let's talk about Conga King.
Let's talk about Conga King once and for all.
Do you want to synopsize this one?
Okay, so we're following our main character, Luna, which is such a hilarious name.
Yeah, I thought for most of it that it was Luna, like a normal name, but no.
Just so you know, I'm not making fun of you if your name is Luna. I'm making fun of this Luna's name.
Yes.
Her mother is a wedding planner, and while they are wedding planning, I'm going to do a horrible job on this one because I'm stressing out about it. She runs into Ambrose, who is the brother of one of the brides, who's causing a little bit of havoc, and our main character is just she's happy working for her mom, like she's fine with helping out and doing all that, but she is kind of winding down for her year and getting ready to start, like, thinking about her future. And Ambrose just wants to wreck those plans. And it does also, though, touch on, like, part of moving forward means dealing with some of the trauma from her past as well, that I wouldn't say was avoiding. She just, if she didn't confront some of the things she went through, it could have long-term, I think, affected her worse.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts on the book itself. That's as much of there's actually not much that happens in the plot.
Yeah, so, like, in her past, we have, like, flashbacks to her meeting this guy, Ethan, who, I'm just going to spoil it, because I feel like it's also kind of clear, and also, like, if you're here, you're ready for spoilers, I feel like. Yeah.
It's clear, it's just not in the description, but it is clear.
Yeah, I feel like it comes up, like, pretty early on. You're like, okay, I know what happened. He was a victim of a school shooting. And so, like, she's dealing with that in her past, and, like, I don't think I can ever love again because this was so perfect, blah, blah, blah. And then she and Ambrose, she's, like, making fun of him for, like, going through so many girls and whatever, and they end up making this bet that he has to find a girl and stick with her for the whole summer, like find a long-term relationship, and she has to go on like 3 dates a week or something. Like she has to get herself out there. And so like, and then the winner of the bet gets to choose someone for someone else, the other person to go on the date with. And it's like, clearly Ambrose is like going for her a little bit, and she's like oblivious. That's like what I took away from it plot wise, and they end up together. Spoilers.
Do you want me to talk about my rating first, or do you want to
go ahead
first?
Go ahead.
So I gave this a very generous 3.
Okay.
I have quite a few fundamental, huge issues with it that I look forward to discussing, that like genuinely I dislike and wouldn't recommend it for kids. That being said, I think we're going to talk about it a little bit, but I really, really liked the Ethan school shooting story part.
Interesting.
I really, really liked how that was done, and I really, really liked, I think because we had just read The Truth About Forever, it was really nice to read a very healthy family dynamic.
Okay, yeah.
So I really enjoyed that element as well.
Martine gave it 4 stars. I gave it 2.5, which I think was maybe a little harsh. Like I think it could be a 3, but I did not like the Ethan storyline. And I also did not like Ambrose as a character very much.
I hate Ambrose. I did not like his story.
And yeah, just like in general, I felt like it was way weaker characterization wise. And I think the plot with the bet could have been done well if the characters were done well.
I have feelings. I think the bet is a very unhealthy and not good dynamic to teach children to create romantic. Don't gamble on other people's feelings.
Yeah.
And involve people. I think her storyline, it worked for me better because it's fine to test. She needed to get out of her shell and experience different things.
Yeah.
I think having him, like, he should have just not had a relationship at all. Should have been the test. Not get with someone and stay with them.
Yeah.
That really bothered me.
I think that definitely should have been discussed more in terms of, like, that was a not good thing to do to someone. Like, the other girl, I don't know her name, but, like, the girl that he starts to get with.
I think it's good. Go ahead.
Oh, I meant what I meant when I said, like, I think if the characters were done better, like, the bet could have been an interesting storyline. I don't think it's, like, I agree with you. I don't think it's, like, a good thing, but I think it could have been a interesting hook for a romance. And if it had been discussed in terms of, like, once they come together, it's like, who have we heard along the way?
I just feel like, I agree 100%. And I just feel like the whole, I appreciate, again, this is where Sarah Dessen can do good, is I appreciate that the reasons him and the girl broke up wasn't actually like, she found out about the bet, it became a blow up. Feelings were really hurt. It was more just they realized they would not work well together.
Yeah, we're not compatible.
Like, that was at least a natural breakup, but I think still the concept is not a great thing. And if the whole part of it was like her learning, you know, to try again, basically learning that it's okay to try again, I think that we get no character development from him, in my opinion. Like, he is still the same character he was in the beginning. He was nasty and rude to his sister at her wedding. He's just pretty disrespectful, and then was like, oh, it's because they're sensitive. That's literally what he says about his family. And then I think he should have, like, had to reflect on himself for a summer.
Yeah.
Not keep trying to make our main character happy.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't like that.
Yeah. He bugged me. From the very beginning, I was like, is this our love interest? Because, like, he bugs me. And I think he was, like, supposed to at the beginning. Like, he bugs Luna, too. But I agree that I don't feel like he had development. Like, he continued to bug me. And he didn't reckon with any of the, like, his flaws. Like, he didn't reckon with himself, I feel like, enough.
And I don't think that you have to have development by changing who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have to, like, change those parts of him, but I don't get the sense that he, other than learning that her job was hard,
Mm-hmm.
and that love is, like, I just don't feel like he learned how his actions were affecting people in his life. As much as, I don't know, that's just my personal feeling on it. Is like, oh, he adopted this dog, he's such a good guy. And I was like, yes, but he's still very just focused on himself.
I also, I don't think he should have stolen the dog. I think there's better ways to go about that.
Oh, I would have taken the dog.
I'm not saying that I don't think he should have saved the dog. I'm saying I don't think he should have just picked up and left with it.
Yeah. Just been like, I'll pay you $10. Can I take your dog? It would have been a better written that way.
Yeah, that would have been better. Yeah. Or like, yeah, I feel like there are other ways that could have gone about it. But I would like to hear more about this, Martine. I'm interested, while Martine is typing, I'm interested in your thoughts on the Ethan storyline that
I didn't get the weird in the vibes by him at all. I mean, he definitely was written to be such a perfect, dreamy boy, but I didn't get any of the other weird vibes you were getting from him.
I just feel like he moved so fast. He was, like, weirdly possessive right away. And, like, I don't know. He just was, like, he just felt smarmy to me. And when we saw him, he was, like, too charming and too, like, into her. Not that people can't be into her, but, like, it was too much in a way that felt like I don't know, like, I don't really understand this term, actually, and I'm about to use it, even though I don't really understand it, but, like, isn't that what love bombing is? Like, it just felt like that to me. But I also don't really know what that means. So maybe take that with a grain of salt.
I just, it's hard for me because I just don't see it. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I don't think he was written well.
Yeah.
So I can see where we're feeling different vibes from him. But I honestly, unfortunately, would put it down to it just being written bad. More than, like, her trying to be intentional. Because you could be right. It could have been like...
Yeah, no, I don't think it was intentional. I think it was just written poorly. I agree with you.
But, so I just didn't know. And he was so in it so little that I was just in her head. I didn't think that much deeper about it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, but I see how you're getting that. Like, I don't disagree. I just don't think it was developed nearly enough to think that hard for me.
I feel like the lesson there was, like, you know, first love or whatever is important. And you can have, like, these strong feelings, but that doesn't mean it's forever. But I also kind of feel like there should have been a conversation of maybe, like, I don't know what I just wish it was developed more. I agree. I just think that, like, him being, like, this perfect guy that no one's ever going to measure up to is not effective storytelling.
I agree.
He doesn't realize that he wasn't perfect.
I think that part of it too is when she first met him and we were going down that story route before you know that like what actually happens. I thought we were going a different assault route with the story. So when I guess for me, when it just turned out he was a nice guy who liked her, I was more just like, this is fun. But I does not mean it's not badly written a little bit.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think we're seeing the same thing. We just like it. I was fine with it and you were not.
Yeah.
It's like exactly what it is.
I'm going to read some of Martine's comments. Does no one else rate Ambrose as having ADHD? I agree. I do read him as having ADHD for sure. And I think it was written like that intentionally. And I think that explains some of his rash decisions. I agree it explains things, but I don't think it excuses them. And I don't think he's a bad person. I just didn't like him as a character. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think any of my issues came from him having ADHD. My issues came from him disregarding people's feelings.
Yeah.
That's where I don't feel like he had any reckoning with that. Other than our main character's feelings being the most important, like yeah, that's basically it. I agree. I think he totally like those actions didn't bother me. Like him taking the dog didn't bother me. I was like, sure, make a rash choice. Yeah. But the things he would say about his like those really bothered me in the beginning with what he said about his sister and his mom. And our character at one time, our main character is like, don't you like consider like how you're hurting people or something? And I just don't think he ever was impacted by that. Martine's leaving. Goodbye, Martine.
Goodbye. You'll watch later. Yeah. I also think like he didn't have enough of a reckoning also with how he was treating girls in the beginning. The way he was like just stringing a million girls along and like barely remembering their names and like talking about them behind their backs and then
like 2 dates at the same time.
Yeah. It just was like I feel like there wasn't enough explicit learning on the page that was wrong.
That's why I feel like his challenge should not have been to date someone. It should have been to be alone.
Yeah.
Experience what it's like to not have all these dates.
Though I do think...
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Can I just be mad real quick?
Yeah.
I'm just annoyed too because I'm sorry. I understand this whole point, and the whole reason he tells her at the end was like, I did this whole challenge, this whole game just so I knew I was going to be the one to ask. I wanted to be with you at the end. I was going to ask you out. So I just was like, so you're like, he genuinely did it to get with her, not actually in this, like, not in the spirit of actually learning and developing himself. Yeah. Like, I was just like, what do you mean? What's the moral of that lesson?
I do think I was going to call her Macy. From Luna's perspective, I see why she made the bet, that thing, like what it was. I think like, but from a larger, like from an adult perspective, like clearly what he needs is like not that. Martine says, my headcanon understanding of his half of the bet is that he knows he likes our main character, to find someone who understands that about him too, and then comes to an agreement with that person that this is the only way that the main character will agree to try life again, so they'll pretend to date and just hang out for the summer so she can experience life and he can wait and show her he's ready to be the type of person that she deserves. I know that's not how it was written, but that's how it made it be in my head. That is funny.
It is.
I also had not remembered what happened to Ethan, and was also concerned about where it was going, and then instead got smacked in the face by the death. I knew because she had that weird thing about like not looking at the news about specific things. I knew from the moment she met Ethan, I was like, he's gonna die.
I thought she was in a shooting. When it's first mentioned, I thought she was in one.
I think I thought that briefly, and then I knew like from the very close to the beginning that what happened to Ethan, and so I don't know.
Yeah, I just liked the element in that I do agree with you, though I don't think it's a good message for the person you lost to just always be painted as a perfect being. But in terms of not graphically dealing with the fallout of an event like this, I thought it was better for those that might not be able to handle like a more explicit dealing with an event like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I just think there's a lot of books that happen at those. Not a lot, but they're unfortunately growing. And like I just think of The Hate List, that one. But it's just like this was a good like emotional dealing with it without necessarily having to transport you into it.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't hate Ethan. He wasn't well written, but I didn't hate him. But if you already hate him and you're bored of his story, then I could see him being annoying.
Yeah.
Maybe not annoying's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Also, I just like felt like it just was not well structured in the way that they like fell in love so fast at first sight, one night, perfect, everything.
It was definitely off. And I didn't like when she's like, I thought back to when I had been asked if I could believe in true love or whatever. And then I looked at Ambrose and I knew it was true. And I was just like, I honestly was so team her sticking with that Ben guy. I was like, if she ends up with a totally different person at the end of this, that would be badass. I mean, I don't know if that relationship, the way it was then written, you saw the flaws of it and stuff. Like, you could tell she wasn't really happy.
Yeah.
But the idea of like them at least teaching each other a lesson and then moving on would have been really cool to me.
I forgot about Ben. I forgot that she was like fully in a relationship with someone else near the end.
And it was only the trauma of thinking. That's what I didn't like either, is using the potential death of a character as a second plot device in this movie bothered me. Or in this book. Like, her first love interest, of course, dies tragically.
When Ambrose like almost dies at the end. I totally forgot about that too.
Yeah, but then it's not even him that's hit.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that I feel like I just could see her having done something more original. I was surprised she went this route. I just feel like I don't like Ambrose. Not that I want him to get hit. I promise I don't. But I just feel like it would have been way more impactful to have them part on different terms. But I understand that that's such an unrealistic expectation for a young adult book.
Yeah.
To do that.
I agree that I didn't like how they came, like him almost dying and then she like is running, whatever. I would have preferred it to happen differently, I think.
I appreciate that Ben was upset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I appreciate that it wasn't just like one of those things where he was like, I can see you're really happy with him. I appreciate that he called her names and then left. I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah. Well,
I think I just like Luna and William and her mom so much, and Ambrose just didn't fit that bill for me. He just didn't. I was really bothered by his comments. I know I keep bringing that up, but they bothered me. It just felt a little rude and not in a way that was dealt with, in my opinion. Because then at the end, I know he's like he's so much better, and now he's like in his spot when he's supposed to and stuff. And I was just like,
okay, bare minimum, you don't get a cookie.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, am I supposed to be rewarding this behavior? I'm so confused.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the fact, though, that she wouldn't tell Ambrose what happened?
Oh, with Ethan?
Mm-hmm.
I get it from her perspective. I do feel like it felt like from a writing and plot perspective, it felt like a plot device. Like, it felt like an intentional miscommunication on Sarah Dessen's part to like stretch out drama. So that was kind of frustrating to me. It was like she could have just told him, and then, I don't know. It was fine. It didn't hugely bother me, but whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was bothered by it throughout, but one of the things that I think is really weird is when he finds out, he feels really guilty, and he's like, I would have said or done things differently or something like that, or I'm sorry if I said anything to upset you. I will say I feel like that was a little glimpse of him understanding the consequences when he may speak without thinking about someone's feelings, is all those times that he said something a little snarky regarding her attitude and breakup, and to find out it wasn't a breakup. I just don't know if that was the moment we were supposed to see him evolve as a character. Maybe. But I don't think it comes to fruition well enough.
No.
But I can see why she didn't tell him. I don't think she was super hiding it. I don't hate how it went down. I just think if that was the big message she was trying to go for, it needed to be a little different.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else. I loved the family in this. It was so nice to have a mom that I didn't hate. Not that I hated the other one's mom, but
Yeah.
To just have a mom that was just totally on board and also like totally understanding of her career. There was no like, it's your dream, Mom, not mine. Like, we didn't have anything like that.
Yeah. I thought it was funny and weird that she like ends up getting with this guy who is like, I don't know what the word for it is, but I feel like he's maybe a little bit of a scammer. That was my impression, was like the John guy, I think his name was John, who was like, he was like spouting all of this, like,
I thought he's hooking up with other moms around the world. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Those were the vibes I was getting.
It was like weird and kind of funny.
But it was so cute. I like that she was on board. I think Sarah Dessen would have done too much trying to include like other family negative dynamics going on or something. So it was nice to just, our main character was happy for her. She did think she was being a little crazy and was trying to like at least monitor her mom.
Yeah.
But she was like in support.
Mm-hmm.
And when he brought her the bouquet for her birthday, I thought that was so cute too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gives me smarmy vibes way more than Ethan did. I didn't trust this guy.
Yeah. I think that's all I have to say.
Oh, I want to talk about one more thing.
Oh.
I wonder how different or similar her grieving process would have been had she been able to go to the ceremony. Because she was so physically unable to.
Yeah.
And I wonder what sense of closure that would have given her, that I think, because that's why I was like, I don't think she needed the grief lessons that Macy did in the other book. Like, it was different relationships that they lost as well, so different levels of different kinds of grief. But I just think that she needed the push to do it before it became like a life damaging thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how that came to be, but I thought that it was, I appreciated it for what it was, even though I just don't like the boy part. Like, he could have been improved as a romantic interest. I think that's probably all we got, though. Do you have anything else you'd want to say about this one?
No. I'm good.
I'm unhauling it. I don't want to keep it.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what's next?
Ho, 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 ho. Doom, 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 doom. If you know, you know. That is, in fact, the introduction to the music for The Twilight Saga. Brr, 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 brr. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So I've never read them before. I've seen one of the movies, and
That's crazy.
remember very little. It was not the first movie. And we're reading the first one, Twilight, in September, and we have a live show date in early October. So if you're interested, October 5th,
the Twilight anniversary.
Join the Discord if you want to. We'll discuss. I'll get the chats up like now, actually, in case anyone wants to start. So we're reading Twilight in September. The next one, which is
New Moon
in October.
I think that's the movie you watched.
I think that's the movie I watched. And then Eclipse
in
November, and Breaking Dawn in December, right?
With a little extra novella thrown in.
Yes, novella thrown in. And we will be doing a live show after each book. And we'll also be doing movie watch-alongs near the end of the month that we're reading that book in. So, lots going on.
I can't express to people, and I can't wait till I'm probably gonna cry at the live show. This is just a fact I'm telling people now, especially it being on the anniversary date. The likelihood of me crying is very high.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot express to you how many times I finished this series and run it from the top again. Like, I just made all my real life friends watch all the movies, and now I'm literally running from the top again. We're doing it again.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I have some real life friends who are thinking about jumping in for the throwback discussion for it. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I call them real life friends. I mean, just non-internet.
Yeah.
And I'm just so excited. It means so much to me. I can't believe it worked out to be doing it on the anniversary date. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to be over that for a while.
Yeah. I'm excited too. I'm kind of scared. I'm scared.
I'm scared because I will likely come for you if you disagree with me.
That is what I'm scared about, is that I will not like them.
I don't think they're without fault, if that helps. It's their flaws that make them such a cult following. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I was telling this to the boys because we were talking about another series that unfortunately makes me feel icky when I think about it now. Another very big series. And I was like, the nice thing about Twilight, we all know it's a little icky already. That's why we like it. So I was like, I can't be made to dislike something that's already kind of unlikable.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. But also, I think that there's a lot of people don't like them because they're written for teen girls and went popular.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And we can talk about that for sure.
Or we just talk about Twilight for another hour. I mean, what?
Yeah. Well, if you would like to join us for the Twilight Saga, join the Discord. The link is down below. Subscribe to Danielle's channel as well as my channel. And I'll get the chats up in the Discord today, so you can start reading early if you want. And yeah, we'll go from there.
I'm excited. This was also fun. I'm excited for our next round of Sarah DESSEN. Next summer, I hope we pick up a few more. Mm-hmm.
Well, we absolutely will. Okay. Thanks for joining us in the chat or watching later, and bye. So many buttons.